We're going to go now to a segment shot on location at the Gloucester County Dream Park in Logan Township, New Jersey, for a closer look at Rowan College at Gloucester County's Equine Science program. RCGC today is on location at Dream Park in Logan Township, New Jersey, and we're horsing around with some of Rowan College at Gloucester County's Equine Science students.
What we've been doing is working on anatomy today, so we've been painting the bones and muscles on the horses.
We came in and we took 2 different horses that were available to us here at the equine program, and they tried to get more whiter horses for us, and we were to illustrate in paint and marker. One side of the horse would be the skeletal system, and the other side would be the musculatory system.
The students palpate to feel where the specific structures are going to be located, so they're learning exactly where they are, and then we take the horses out and we walk them and jog them and talk about the conformation of the horse and how that's affected by their skeletal structure, and we also talk about biomechanics and the muscles involved.
Looking at a picture is one thing, but actually understanding where that muscle is or where that bone is and what it does and how it functions, to see the horses out in the field and actually moving gives you a really good appreciation for knowing why they may be lame or why they may not be moving properly.
In our classes, the students get a lot of hands-on experience with the horses. We have students who have never handled horses ever before who are coming into the classes and learning just basics. We also have students who own more than one horse, who compete on a regular basis and have quite a bit of experience.
I've been riding and competing for many, many years. Took my first seat on a horse about 11 years ago.
We have a lot of students who are taking the class who have never handled horses before and are learning very basics of putting a halter on the horse and getting comfortable just being around them, leading them, influencing them with their body language. So we start in a very low-level format for those students. So it's very non-intimidating for somebody who doesn't have any experience around large animals.
It's a very cooperative class. We have to work together. And lots of questions. It's a wide range of people, and the ladies in the class have many objectives. Some want to go to vet school, some want to work in the field immediately, some like myself want to be more involved in the social aspect of horses. So there's a lot to offer for everyone.
I work on a horse farm. I'm not going to be like anything big in like the horse world. I just like taking care of horses.
I volunteer at an animal sanctuary and I work mostly with the horses, so I wanted to learn more about the actual academics of horses and how to work with them.
In the equine science class, we are going through many different things about horses. We talk about nutrition, we talk about their care and management, we talk about pasture management, we go through a lot of anatomy, skeletal, muscular structure, digestive structures, and talk in general about the science of horses and their care and management.
It's an interesting class, whether or not you like horses or you just want to get some experience, and it really gives you like a good understanding of how to act around them and what to look for if you end up owning a horse yourself.
This class is a good fit for our equine science students who are going on in many times to veterinary school or transferring on to get another 4-year degree in animal science or equine science. We also have a lot of students who are taking the class because they're interested in horses, they've always had a passion for horses, and it's something that they'd eventually like to get more involved in. Or students who currently are very involved in horses, maybe they have a horse that they ride actively, they're taking it as a science elective, and they're just learning more to foster what they already know about horses.
I had no idea about any of the bones or muscle structures in horses. I just had horses, and like we could tell if they were lame and what it was, but like I didn't really know why it was happening. So it gives you a better understanding that way.
For students who are interested in the equine science program, we have the equine science major where students take courses in general sciences, a year of chemistry, a year of biology. They also get experience in business practices, so they take economics 1 and 2. And then they take 3 animal equine classes. I would say the equine program has many different options for students who choose it as their major. They can transfer to one of our 4-year partners. So we have partnerships with Rutgers University where students seamlessly transfer into the program as juniors and have 2 more years to finish up. Then we also have articulation agreements with Cornell University and Delaware Valley College for students to go on and do for a 4-year bachelor's degree. We also have a program, an articulation with Ross University, their School of Veterinary Medicine in St. Kitts in the Caribbean. And students can come to RCGC and do their 2-year major and then take an additional course of biochemistry and apply to go directly to vet school, thus skipping 2 more years of bachelorate education. And then they would do 3.5 years in Ross University's program. And at the end of that, they would have 5.5 years and have earned a veterinary medicine degree instead of the typical 8 years to getting a veterinary medicine degree. Students can also take a certificate program that we have where they're just taking the animal science, the equine class, and the equine second year course, the equine capstone course, and then 1 biology elective. And this gives them a professional development certificate. And we've had a lot of students who are taking that certificate to match it with another program at the same time. For example, we have somebody right now who's in our ultrasound program who's done the equine science certificate and is hoping to eventually maybe work with humans, but also use that to work with animals as well too. So there's a good pairing of the equine program with other majors. We also have students who are going into taking these classes as just a science elective, so they may be taking just animal science or just the equine class as their science elective. I think the classes offer something for everyone. They get a lot of experience handling the horses, but then they also learn a lot about the anatomy. We dissect horse legs, front legs and hind legs, from the scapula and the femur down. So we talk a lot about the structures that are involved in the anatomy, and then we also relate that to the lamenesses that horses have and common injuries that they may experience. We also dissect a digestive tract of the whole horse, so we go through and talk about colic and many of the reasons for it, and the anatomy of the horse and how they have a different diet than maybe your dog would have, and talking about the specific structures involved in that.
When we did the lab on dissecting of a leg, I was absolutely amazed because my background, I actually have a bachelor's in biology, and I've worked in the healthcare field off and on for 25 years. So to see that level of, first of all, having the product to be able to utilize, and then hands-on, and we were expected to cut and manipulate and really understand what we were doing. It was phenomenal.
You learn a lot about, like, we're going to do like field management and probably learn about fencing and all that kind of stuff. And you're not going to put up barbed wire fencing when you have horses, because they run through the fence, they're going to get torn up, but we learn that kind of stuff. So if you're gonna have a horse one day, you want to know how to set up your pastures and what kind of grass you should grow and what poisonous plants there are that they shouldn't eat, what makes them colic, so like you don't want to feed them too much grain or switch their hay really fast, things like that. So it gives you a good idea of the basic care of a horse, but then some.
We've also done a lot with parasites.
You test so that, like, you know, if you have to deworm, so it'd be like antibiotic resistance in humans. You don't want to keep using the dewormer and just deworm, maybe they don't have it, so then they don't build up a resistance to it, then you have a super worm.
We had actual stool samples that we learned how to manipulate to get them so we could see the eggs, and we actually saw the eggs, so that was exciting too. It's real life for the horses.
So when I leave this program, I will have graduated with an equine science associate's degree. And when I go on to do what I need to do, run my own training farm, take other horses in, go out and compete, whatever it is, I need to know things. You know, I need to know which horse is sick with what. Is it contagious to my horse? Does this one have shots? Does he not? You know, just all kinds of things, you know, what to look for, tiny little blemishes that could not be a blemish, that could be an actual injury. Just things that they do to themselves out in the field, you know, not things caused by riding. Just any little detail is significant, especially in the business I'm gonna run.
I wanted to get my associates so I could be a vet tech while I go to school still.
My goal is to work in equine welfare, so for the health and wellness of them, to understand their needs and why specific things are needed, why things might harm them, you know, the age, is the mare pregnant, is it a 1 year, is it a 2 year, do they need growth, do they need protein? And if you really learn and understand horses, they have a lot to tell you.
If you have a horse, I recommend taking the class, or like if you take lessons, because you'll just learn so much more.
It has been phenomenal, way beyond what my expectations were.
And I learned a lot more than I thought I would, to be completely honest. You know, I kind of went into it a little skeptical. You know, I'm just kind of relearn what I've been taught for 11 years. And I didn't. I actually picked up on a couple different things, and it's helped. And it's gonna help for the rest of my life.